You're welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Obialor-Ukazim, precious author of The Captive's Diary. You're welcome to the YouTube channel. Your podcaster is not available at the moment, so I'll be taking you on the daily episode. We're on episode 75, I believe. So let's take it up from there. At 4 p.m. that evening, David and Masinachi were seated in the living room of their family home, facing Nnamdi and Chizaram. The atmosphere was formal, yet warm, as Nnamdi smiled warmly at them before speaking up. David, Masinachi, we are pleased to have you both here. My wife and I have prayed about your decision to get married, and by God's grace, we are also convinced that this is what God wants for you both and want to give you our blessings. But before that, we want you to know that marriage is a beautiful journey but requires effort, commitment, and understanding from both parties. We are here to talk with you, to pray, and to ensure you are both ready for this step. We therefore want you to be open and honest with us as we discuss. He said, as they nodded in the affirmative before Chizaram in her usual spoken, soft-spoken tone, with a kind smile took over. Yes, he's right, my dear ones, she said, nodding in agreement with what her husband had said. Marriage is a union of two imperfect people, and it's essential you understand each other's strengths, weaknesses, and love language. We want to know how well you two have known each other and how willing you are to build a beautiful future together. So let's start with a simple question. Have you two ever had a misunderstanding before? Chizaram asked them. David and Masinachi exchanged glances, and David spoke up. Yes, ma'am, we have had our disagreement, but we always manage to resolve them through communication and prayer, he said, and Nnamdi was just quiet as his wife interrogated them, his eyes twinkling with keen observation. That's excellent. Communication is key in any relationship. How exactly did you resolve your misunderstanding? Who apologized first? Chizaram asked, and Masinachi smiled, her eyes shining with love. Well, for the most part, David apologized first, but we usually talk it out, and whoever realizes their mistakes apologizes first. We've learned that pride has no place in a relationship, and I'm particularly learning from David how to apologize whenever we have a disagreement. Masinachi answered, and Chizaram smiled, pleased with their response. That's beautiful. Truly, pride has no place in a relationship or marriage. It's a destroyer of good relationship. Now let's talk about each other's flaws. David, can you mention at least 3 things you don't like about Masinachi and wish to see her change? Chizaram asked, and David took a deep breath, a hint of smile on his face. He wasn't expecting that question, and he could feel Nnamdi's eyes on him. He knew he needed to choose his words carefully. Well, Masinachi can be a bit stubborn at times, and she loves to withdraw into her shell when she is hurt or doesn't get what she wants. Also, she can switch her phone off or refuse to take her calls or reply texts when she's angry, and it really hurts. I wish she would always take her call so we could talk and settle our differences and not give up on us at the face of little disagreements. He told them, and Masinachi nodded, her expression understanding. Even Nnamdi agreed in his heart that David was right in those things he pointed out about her. Okay, Masinachi, I hope you are hearing him, Chizaram asked, and she nodded in the affirmative. All right, let's hear from you, Chizaram said, gesturing Masinachi to say hers, but for a moment she didn't know what to say. Um, I know David is not perfect, but I like everything about him. And for the things he pointed out about me, I'm working on those areas already. Masinachi replied. And her father looked at her again. His expression was unreadable. Then quietly, he chuckled. Are you trying to say you have not observed anything you don't like about the man you have courted for 3 months and now planning to walk down the aisle with? He wore on his face an expression of amazed unbelief as he asked, looking deeply into her eyes, what then was the root of the confusion or misunderstanding between you two when you had a communication breakdown that you had to even stop taking his calls and replying his text messages? He asked, and she tried to remember what actually happened. um our relationship wasn't his our misunderstanding wasn't his fault. Actually, what happened was that I didn't like the long distance relationship, but David was willing to come around fortnightly regardless of the distance, except that there was later an instruction that we should stop that he should stop, and he stopped coming. His stopping didn't go well with me, and that led to a confusion between us, which was my fault. I explained what happened. So you mean nothing about him makes you feel uneasy? Chizaram asked. Her eyes Chizaram asked her again, and she answered in the positive, confident in herself. Then Nnamdi and Chizaram exchanged a quick glance, relieved that she was even pleased with David after hearing, relieved and pleased with David after hearing their daughter's explanation. Nnamdi cleared his throat, then leaned forward, his eyes serious, yet loving, and looked onto David and Masinachi. You see, David and Masinachi, we are making progress. Now let's talk about your fears. What are your greatest fears about each other? He asked, and David took a deep breath, his voice filled with sincerity. Dad, my greatest fear is Masinachi leaving me or refusing to be with me. The thought of living without her, of not being able to hold her hand, to laugh with her, and to wake up beside her, it's a fear that keeps me up at night. I just can't imagine my life without her, David said, and the room was quiet. It seems everyone held their breath, and Masinachi's face softened, her eyes filled with love, and just then her greatest fear spilled out, her voice barely above a whisper. My greatest fear is that David might change in the future and stop giving me his attention and spending time with me. That he might become too busy or lose interest in me, and I'll be left alone, feeling unloved and unwanted. Masinachi spewed her own fears. These are valid fears in the heart of people, especially when they want to walk down the aisle, when they want to commit to a lifetime relationship, marriage. Okay, next episode we will see what the counselors have for them. But I think I love this. I love their sincerity. I love the fact that Masinachi was sincere to own up to her own mistakes and wrongdoing. All right, God bless you. See you in episode 76. Have a great day ahead.